Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 30th of January for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you the key features to look out for, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail all of the ins and outs for the signs from Aries through to Pisces. If you're a returning visitor to my channel, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new, it's great to have you with me. Please like or comment. I answer all comments. This is very much a community. And also subscribe. And if you would like to understand what the next year will hold for you as an individual, as opposed to your zodiac sign, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can give you your forecast, but also my special package of 30% off your life roadmap report. This helps you to understand where you can seize opportunities more firmly, but also some of the patterns that may have repeated themselves that are not so easy. The more you can intimately understand what these are about, the more you can overcome them. Also, I will provide your free Zodiac, Indian and Chinese 12-month forecast completely free of charge. Please see the link below. So this week begins with the Sun forging a really energized link with Mars. But later in the week, Mars and Venus are actually going to be in a tense right angle. But that can just amp up the attraction of someone that you may encounter. Essentially, the Sun in the sign of Aquarius is about friendship. Mars in Gemini is about communications. So if there's somebody that you're attracted to in a social context, then the text messages and emails can soon flow. There can be a meeting up and it can be great fun. Or you may find yourself in the mood to be much more active. But with Venus, the planet of allure, in the sign of Pisces, this is a more reflective location, but Venus actually is exalted here. It likes being in Pisces, and it's asking us to be attuned to how things feel. Mars has an element of urgency around communications in Gemini. So I wouldn't think it's a great idea to rush communications around anyone. If you get to know them this week or you've been recently getting to know them, just let things go at their own pace. But there can be a sense of desire. Now also this week, we do see the Sun in a much more discordant right angle to Uranus. And this may just ring a little bit of a bell in the back of your mind. And the reason is because a year ago, this exact aspect occurred, but also because Saturn in Aquarius has been in that extended right angle with Uranus in Taurus. But the Sun's moved in. Now the Sun obviously is about our core energy. Uranus in the sign of Taurus is about everyday money, but also our self-worth. So it is possible that there is going to be something that comes out into the open as this week goes on, that the truth seeker Uranus pushes us to fess up about. And the sign of Aquarius is very much into the idea of truth because, of course, Uranus is the co-ruler of this sign. But by the end of the week on Sunday, we have a very intense full moon in the sign of Leo. This is a culmination event. If we look back to 6 months ago when we had the Leo new moon, that forged an amazing trine with Jupiter. It was very much about showcasing our talents, our desires, our passions. But the Sun in Aquarius is at the coolest point of its journey for its entire yearly cycle. It's technically in detriment, and the dispassionate side of Aquarius pushes back at what can be seen as the more frivolous and even attention-seeking energies of Leo. And because the Uranus energies in Taurus is very much about how much something's worth, but it can be an erratic energy, this is not the best of times to speculate. So over the next 2 weeks, I wouldn't be risking any resources on any get-rich-quick scheme, or if a friend recommends buying something that just seems to be absolutely amazing, I'd slow things down. Also, this can be a time when affections, whether it's with friendships or in a love relationship, can be influenced by our values. And if our values are not meshing with someone that we're spending a lot of time with, this can bring some turbulence into the open in the next 2 weeks. But also this week, we do have a very compassionate link between Mercury and Neptune. And it's just encouraging us to try to understand why we react in certain ways, what conditions us to have the responses we have. But I think that the full moon is essentially quite a triggering event. Please stay with me for your in-depth forecast for each of the 12 signs. So Aries, with your ruler Mars really in the picture this week, Mars is linked with the Sun, is terrific if you're wanting to think about your longer term future and you're wanting to take steps to make things happen with a great deal of energy and enthusiasm. It could be a great time to get together with some friends or perhaps go on a journey. If you've been looking for a new mode of transport, certainly Mars linking with the Sun will give you a lot of encouragement to feel that you can get what you need or to be more personally active, especially if those New Year's resolutions have taken a little bit of a back seat. But of course, later in the week, Mars is squaring with Venus. Is there somebody that you're attracted to who's not truly available? It's not completely unlikely that some kind of secret attraction or at least clandestine involvement could start to take shape with Venus in a square with Mars. But equally, watch out for gossip. So if there's somebody you're drawn to, you need to be absolutely sure that the trust factor is going to be strong. With Venus in your 12th house, along with Neptune, and Mercury in the part of your situation which is asking you to think about more worldly situations, listening to your instincts is important. And even if there is a flirty conversation going on, what would the true fallout be if you did get involved with someone who isn't truly available or you're not truly available? And with the Sun in a square with Uranus, if you're wanting to think long term about your finances and things feel very choppy, there's lots of expenses at the moment, or you're realizing that certain people around you don't necessarily see things the same way, I think this is all going to become much more obvious by the time of the full moon on Sunday. But the one thing you can do, Aries, is decide who you're going to spend time with. And this full moon actually could see you in quite a lot of demand. And perhaps a lot of people will want a piece of you, but of course we can't please all of the people all of the time. So I would factor in the cost because of Uranus being in the second house, but also factor in the values of the people that are reaching out to you, because it's going to be the people that you really mesh with that you're going to feel comfortable with. And if you don't, even though there may be some kind of superficial attraction, that may fall over quite quickly if there is something between you that is much more significant, where you just see life in a very starkly different way.